Suwon is the capital and largest metropolis of Gyeonggi-do, South Korea's most populous province which surrounds Seoul, the national capital. Suwon lies about 30 kilometers south of Seoul. It is traditionally known as the City of Filial Piety. With a population close to 1.2 million, it is larger than Ulsan, although it is not governed as a metropolitan city. Suwon has existed in various forms throughout Korea's history, growing from a small settlement to become a major industrial and cultural center. It is the only remaining completely walled city in South Korea. The city walls are one of the more popular tourist destinations in Gyeonggi Province. Samsung Electronics R&D Center and headquarters are based in Suwon. The city is served by two motorways, the National Railway Network, and the Seoul Metropolitan Subway. Suwon is a major educational center, home to 11 universities. Suwon is home to Suwon Samsung Blue Wings Football Club, which have won the K-League on 4 occasions and AFC Champions League twice. The KTWs of the Korean Baseball Organization also call Suwon home. History: in ancient tribal times, Suwon was known as Mosugaik. During the Three Kingdoms era, however, the area comprising modern Suwon and Hwaseong City was called Moryeolgun. In 757, under King Gyeonggi of the unified Silla, the name was changed to Sujeonggun. In 940 during the Goryeo dynasty, the name was changed again into Suja. King Taejong of the Joseon dynasty renamed the city to Suwon in 1413. In 1592, during the Imjin Wars, Commander Yi Kwang attempted to launch his army toward the capital city, Seoul. The army was withdrawn, however, after news that the city had already been sacked reached the commander. As the army grew in size to 50,000 men with the accumulation of several volunteer forces, Yi Kwang and the irregular commanders reconsidered their aim to reclaim the capital, and led the combined forces north to Suwon. Construction of Hwaseong. Later, during the Joseon dynasty, King Gyeonggi made an ultimately unsuccessful attempt to make Suwon the nation's capital in 1796. Part of this project was the construction of Hwaseong Fortress, a fortified wall running around the entire city partially intended to guard the tomb of his father, Prince Sado, which he had located there. The walls were one of Korea's first examples of paid labor. The walls still exist today, though they were damaged severely during the Korean War. Hwaseong originally was constructed under the guidance of philosopher Jeong Yag-yong. Shortly after the death of King Gyeonggi, a white paper detailing the construction of the fortress was published. This proved invaluable during its reconstruction in the 1970s. The fortress walls once encircled the entire city, but modern urban growth has seen the city spread out far beyond the fortress. The walls are now a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site, and often are used in materials promoting the city. Korean War. The Korean War greatly affected Suwon, as the city changed hands 4 times. Very shortly after the outbreak of war, the 49th Fighter Wing of the United States Air Force was dispatched to Korea from Japan. Its first task was to evacuate civilians from Suwon and Gimpo, but Suwon soon fell to the advancing North Koreans. Shortly before the Battle of Ulsan, the first conflict between United States and North Korean forces, on July 4, 1950, defenses were erected on the road between Suwon and nearby Ulsan. The next day, northern troops advanced south. In the 3.5-hour battle which followed, 150 American and 42 North Korean soldiers were killed and the United States troops were forced to retreat. The North Korean advance southwards to take Ulsan was delayed by an estimated 7 hours. On December 16, 1950, the Greek Expeditionary Force relocated to Suwon, attached to the U.S. 1st Cavalry Division. From November 6, 1951, the United States Air Force's top fighter pilot Gabi Gabrisky was in charge of K-13 Air Base in Suwon. By the end of the war, Suwon was in South Korea. A memorial to the French military stands in Jangan-gu, near the Yeongdong Expressway's North Suwon exit. Recent history. Suwon became the capital of Gyeonggi-do on June 23, 1967. On July 1, 1988, Jangan-gu and Gwanseon-gu was installed. On February 1, 1993, part of Jangan-gu and Gyeonggi was separated and these parts became a new district, Paldal-gu. On November 24, 2003, Yeongtong-gu was installed newly to separate part of Paldal-gu. Geography. Suwon lies in the north of the Gyeonggi Plain, just south of South Korea's capital, Seoul. It is bordered by Suwon to the northwest, Yeongjin to the east, the city of Hwaseong to the southwest, and also shares a short border with Ansan to the west. There are a few hills around Suwon. The highest of these is Gyeonggi-do to the north, on the border with Yeongjin, though those to the east are more numerous. Gyeonggi-do is 582 meters above sea level. Most of the streams passing through Suwon originate on Gyeonggi-do or other nearby peaks. Since Suwon is bounded to the east by other hills, the streams, chiefly the Suwon, flow southwards through the city, eventually emptying into the Yellow Sea at Ulsan Bay. The entirety of Suwon is drained in this manner. As is true of all the South Korean mainland, there are no natural lakes in Suwon. There are, however, many small reservoirs, namely Shioho near Haseo Station, Ilwon Reservoir near Sungkyunkwan University, Bambat Reservoir near Sungkyunkwan University Station, Ilwang Reservoir in Manzik Park, Pajang Reservoir near the North Suwon exit of the Yeongdong Expressway, Gyeonggi Reservoir at the foot of Gyeonggi-do, Wonsan and Sinde Reservoirs near Aja University II, Eo Euroam registered trademark E-Micron, Jeonggok Reservoir, a small reservoir at the foot of Chilbasan, and the larger Wangsong Reservoir, located mainly in the city of Uwong, but its dam located in Suwon. At the closest point, being the Chilbasan Ridge to the west on the border with Ansan, Suwon lies 6 kilometers from the Yellow Sea coast. Climate =. Administrative divisions. The city is divided into 4 gai. The newest of these is Yeongtong-gu, which was separated from Paldal-gu on November 24, 2003. These districts are in turn divided into 41 dong. Demographics: 50.2% of the population of Suwon is composed of male residents. Indeed, it is only in Paldal-gu that the number of female residents is greater than that of males. 1.85% of the population is of foreign nationality, the highest concentration being in Paldal-gu. Further information regarding the residents of each district is shown below. Overall, the population of Suwon is increasing, but the domestic population is falling. For example, the Korean population of Suwon fell by 585 from December 2007 to January 2008. However, both genders of the foreign population increased in number in each gai in the same time period. It appears to be a pattern that the foreign population is increasing, as Suwon also saw a 13% increase in the number of registered foreigners residing in the city in the first half of 2007. The only gai currently showing an increase in population is Gyeonggi, while all others have falling number of residents, especially Jangan-gu and Yeongtong-gu. Education. There are 11 universities in Suwon and 2 colleges, and these include Sungkyunkwan University's Natural Sciences Campus, Gyeonggi University, Aja University, Kyunghae University, Dongnam Health College, GUKJE Digital University, Hapdong Theological Seminary, and Suwon Women's College. The University of Suwon is not actually in Suwon, but in the neighboring city of Hwaseong. The agricultural campus of Seoul National University was located in Suwon until 2005, but is now in Gwanak-gu, Seoul. There are also 2 junior colleges, 33 high schools, 37 middle schools, 81 primary schools and 107 kindergartens in Suwon. Suwon has 3 schools devoted to special education, namely the Juri Institute, the School of Suwon Seokwang and Dream Tree Special School, and also has wings of mainstream schools for students requiring special education, being the Special Education School of Suwon Buk Middle School, the Special Education School of Suwon Girls Middle School. Industry. The main industrial employer in Suwon is Samsung. In fact, Samsung had major facilities Seoul, but at the beginning of the Korean War, inventories were so damaged that the founder, Lee Young-shul, was forced to start business again in 1951. Samsung Electronics was founded in Suwon in 1969 and it now has its headquarters and a large factory complex in central Suwon. It is the city's largest employer. Other companies with offices here include SK, Samsung Electronics, Samsung LED, Samsung SDI and others. Culture. Hwaseong Fortress is Suwon's most notable attraction. Built in 1796, the entire city used to be encircled by the walls, but now Suwon has expanded beyond this boundary. Hwaseong is also listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Haeungung Palace, within Hwaseong, is another noteworthy historical attraction. On completion of the Bundang Line extension, Suwon will also be only a few stops from Singil, the location of the Korean folk village, and the Everland theme park is nearby in Yeongjin. Recreation. The path around the walls of Hwaseong Fortress is popular with locals and tourists for sightseeing and walking. Manzik Park in northern Suwon has a 1200m track around a lake. Other facilities at Manzik Park include tennis, soccer and the Suwon X Games skate park. Various other parks are dotted around Suwon and several ski resorts and hiking trails are within easy reach of the city. Travel and tourism. Including Suwon Hwaseong, Suwon City offers various trekking, tour and festivals for tourists. Sport. Suwon has several sports facilities, including an archery field, badminton courts, 10-pin bowling lanes, indoor swimming pools, tennis courts, soft tennis courts and football pitches. Suwon Gymnasium hosted the handball events in the 1988 Summer Olympics. It has a capacity of 5,145. Suwon is home to the Suwon World Cup Stadium, a venue during the 2002 FIFA World Cup and home to K-League Classic Team Suwon Samsung Blue Owings K-League Challenge Team Suwon FC. Home stadium is Suwon Sports Complex. The city was also the base of the KBO League team Hyundai Unicorns, which played beside the Suwon Sports Complex, and the Samsung Thunders, Samsung Life by Chumi. Suwon is home to KBO League team KT Wiz. Entertainment. Suwon has 3 major multiplex theaters, Megabox and CGV theaters in the Suwon Station complex in the city center, as well as Kinex 5 in the district of Yongtong-gai. There are also other theaters that show fewer foreign films, Cinema Town, Taehan Theater, Piccadilly Theater, Chunggang Theater, Royal Theater, Dano Theater and Dano Art Hall. Woncheon in the Yongtong-gai district also has 2 amusement parks, Woncheon Greenland and Woncheon Lakeland. Other amenities. Suwon City Council prides itself on the condition of its public lavatories. It has made efforts in recent years to ensure that new lavatories are clean and while improving existing facilities. There are now guided bus tours of the municipal restrooms offered for visitors. Transport. Suwon is a regional transportation hub and Suwon Station is an important stop on the Gyeonggi railway line between Seoul and Busan. There is a bus service to the KTX high-speed train station at Gwangmyeong. Suwon is connected to Seoul and other nearby cities by city and express buses with departure points across the city. There are also 2 bus terminals in Suwon with intercity and express bus connections to most cities in Korea. These are Suwon Bus Terminal, which is located near Hotel Ramada, and West Suwon Bus Terminal, which is located near Sungkyunkwan University. KTX trains also make a limited number of stops on services from Seoul to Busan. Suwon has several stations on Seoul Subway Line 1, which runs north-south through the city, namely Sungkyunkwan University, Hwaseo, Suwon and Siru. The Bundang Line also crosses Suwon east-west, terminating at Suwon, and the Suwon Line connecting Suwon Station to Incheon is under construction. Until 1973, the Zoro Line also connected Suwon to Yeoju. The Yeongdong Expressway passes through Suwon and 2 exits on this motorway lie within the city limits, being North Suwon and East Suwon. Suwon is also served by the Suwon exit of the Gyeonggi Expressway, though this lies a short distance east of the Suwon's limits, near Singil in the city of Yeongjin. In 2013, the city hosted the ECO Mobility World Festival in the Haeungung-dong neighborhood, where for a month, streets were closed to cars as a car-free experiment. Instead of cars, residents used non-motorized vehicles provided by the festival organizers. The experiment was not unopposed. However, on balance it was considered a success. Following the festival, the city embarked on discussions about adopting the practice on a permanent basis. Media: there are two newspapers based in Suwon. These are the Gyeonggi Daily and, since 1960, the Gyeongjin Daily. The former is based in Jangan-gu, with the latter's offices being in Paldol-gu. Both feature news exclusively in Korean. Military: the Air Force has a base in Gyeonggi-do, Gwansung-gu, Suwon. This was used by the United States Air Force during the Korean War. The base is now occupied mostly by the ROKAF, though the U.S. Army houses half of a battalion there presently, and there are a limited number of U.S. Air Force personnel. Religion: as in most of South Korea, according to 2006 statistics compiled by the government, about 25.3% of the population professes to follow no particular religion. Christians account for 20% of the population and Buddhists 52%. The Catholic Diocese of Suwon was created in 1963 by Pope Paul VI. Food: Suwon is famous for Suwon galbi, a variation on the style beef short rib enjoyed throughout Korea. The city also has the same variety of Korean dishes served throughout the peninsula and has a wide variety of restaurants serving food from outside Korea. Since 1995, Galbi Festival has been held annually, attracting many tourists. Flora and fauna: Suwon's wildlife is similar to that of most of Gyeonggi-do. A notable species, however, is the Suwon tree frog. This is one of only two tree frogs to inhabit the Korean peninsula and it lives in the Gyeonggi-do area only. Notable residents: famous people from Suwon include, Queen's Park Rangers footballer Park Ji-sung grew up in Suwon. In 2005 a city street was renamed after him. Cheyenne leader Lee Jin-ki aka Anu, Pastor Billy Kim, former president of the Baptist World Alliance and current president of the Far East Broadcasting Company, 2AM leader and variety show trend Jo Kwon, cellist Han Na-chang, actress Yun Young, actress Ha Ji-won, presenter and columnist Sam Oh, MMA fighter Kim Dong-yeon, actor Ju Won, girl group A Pink member Yoon Bo-mi, BTOB member Yuk Sung-ji. Sister cities: Asayakawa, Japan; Jinan, China; Townsville, Australia; Bandung, Indonesia; Jeddah City, Republic of Korea; Yerevan, Turkey; Cluj-Napoca, Romania; Toluca, Mexico; Fes, Morocco; Gyeonggi Province, Vietnam; Siem Reap Province, Cambodia; Nizhny Novgorod, Russia; Curitiba, Brazil; Pohang, Republic of Korea; Taein County, Republic of Korea; Freiburg im Breisgau, Germany. See also, List of cities in South Korea, Geography of South Korea, Seoul National Capital Area, Gyeonggi, Hwaseong Fortress. References. External links: City Government Website, Suwon at DMOZ, Suwon, Official Seoul City Tourism, Suwon Samsung Blue Oing's official site of Hwaseong Fortress, Gyeonggi Suwon International School homepage, Gyeonggi Daily Newspaper, Gyeongjin Daily Newspaper.